Well, I guess my journey's been about integration. What I've been really trying to do is integrate all of the different levels of what does it mean to live a really whole, full life. So I started out in marine biology and ecology in the natural world. I really got interested in how human beings are part of the environment, and then that led me to psychology to kind of understand how come humans are separate from the environment and how come we treat it the way that we do, and then that led me into spiritual studies, and then I got really interested in helping the next generation of young people. So I set up what was a modern mystery school. You know, like if you're in Tibet and you pick up the right beads and bowls, you end up getting taken off to a lamasery because they recognize that you've got a gift for your community. But in the West, we don't really have that. So I was interested in the rebels and the people who actually had some mixture of genius and couldn't fit into the world in its kind of zombie land. And so we created this like Harry Potter kind of world of an old monastery with 30 young people from all over the world coming and living together and creating new culture. My work has been to include both the heart of the spiritual path and the awakening path with reclaiming really healthy ways to work with sexual energy, financial energy, emotional energy, so that there isn't this split between spirit and sex, there isn't this split between consciousness and making a living and living an ordinary life. So probably the ultimate thing that ISTA does is deliver in week-long chunks the essential teachings that allow someone to at least have a chance to live an authentic, rich, full life. Sex education in schools is about the function and the clinics and the medical side of it, but the emotional side of it, the psychological, the spiritual side of it is just left to kids to work out in back streets of cars, and you know, it's like, and everyone's just too afraid to go there. So, you know, I think by fearlessly going into these parts that make us human and make us this wonderful thing of spirit and soul and body and animal, and bringing them into integration, then young people start to trust society again. I mean, the big wound in our world is nobody trusts our leaders anymore. Nobody trusts the politicians and the businessmen and the culture that we live in, because they can all see that it's kind of built on fear and control. Well, the most beautiful thing for me is that when you give people permission to be themselves, to drop the masks and the pretense and the fitting in, when you give them permission, sometimes it takes a day, sometimes 3 days, sometimes a week, but something shines out of the core of every human being that is amazing. It's just they don't have permission to be like that. So mainly what we're doing is creating an opportunity for people to feel like they belong, that who they are is okay, that everything that's going on inside them is welcome, and then the soul, the body, the emotions have a natural way of healing themselves. Seeing life-changing transformations, you know, where people come into the training in a sense in a diminished way and leave it radically feeling different. It doesn't mean they go out and radically change their life, but it means they are radically changed. They feel like they belong on the planet. They feel like they're not the only one who feels it the way that they feel. Early on in my life, I didn't really feel so good about being a human being. I thought I'd rather have been a dolphin or a tree or something other than humans, because humans seem so stupid and cruel and fake, you know? It's like most people seem to be just struggling with making a living and surface material world. And I was embarrassed when I went into the natural world to represent humans. So I guess what I want to say is that's all changed for me. And the reason it's changed is because I do this work and because I see, you know, what other people don't see, because they look at the news and they look at what the civilization keeps presenting us as reality. I see hundreds of thousands, millions of people all over the world stripping off their masks, shining something beautiful of what it means to be a human being. And I have such tremendous hope for the future because of that.